Welcome to episode 13. Again, I'm still working on this. Anyways, today's episode is brought to you by German Shepherd hair. If you see one on me, don't judge me. I promise you, I try to lint roll, but it's a German Shepherd. It just endlessly ends up everywhere. But you're not here for puppy stories, you're here for babies. And kudos to you for having fun in that 5 minutes of peace that your baby is sleeping in between feedings. And joining me. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. So, episode 13 is the beginning of bottles. Now, according to our leading latch / lactation / breastfeeding doctor people, there's a small window where your baby is like super cool with bottle feeding, or that it makes it much easier. There is also a window where your baby apparently is like, no, I'm sorry, you've missed this train. Please check back the next time it comes to the station, which apparently can be weeks. Again, I'm not a medical professional. I'm just relaying as much third-hand information to you as I can, so take it with a grain of salt and always trust your medical providers. However, again, we are at the beginning of the bottles here in this house, and it is wonderful, because dads in this time, well, to be quite honest, getting a little jealous over here because mom has baby. Now, yeah, baby's in feeding frenzy mode, of course, because babies need to eat and babies gotta grow. But at the same time, dads, if your baby's just constantly feeding, your baby's not normally spending a lot of time with you. So I've kind of gotten that withdrawal where I'm just like, don't take it personal. She's just hungry. That's just how things are right now. It's just how things are. But now that bottle time's here, it's my time to shine. So we get our nightly bottle. It's wonderful because I get to spend at least 20 to 30 minutes just loving on her. Just holding her, feeding the bottle. It's great. Now, yeah, she's not just staring up at me and just, whatever. We are doing everything that dad ever wanted to do, okay? I got the baby in the arms, feeding the baby. My wife's over there just taking a quick nap. The puppy's on the floor, chewing on her bone, and I'm watching Star Wars. Or anything that I just happen to randomly decide that I want to watch because it's great. I'm half paying attention because I'm really enjoying my time, but it's just background noise for the most part. It's awesome. It's a great thing. And I'm sure somebody out there who comes across this video is like, yeah, well, I had to feed my baby, blah, 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 blah. Hey, man, it's the gift of life, and you're a lucky guy. So, yeah, it may be the most inopportune sometimes, but at the end of the day, this is time with your kid. They're not going to remember it, but you're going to always remember those moments. It may not remember every single feeding, but I assure you, this is a gift to you, I promise. That being said, though, I apparently was about to feed the baby in the wrong way, or the way that's not as commonly accepted. Your results may vary. I don't know. So, this is the way that we hold the baby. Okay, I'm just going to back up here. Okay, baby here and bottle. And you're like, hi, baby. Yes, please, have the food. Dad time, quality time. Memories. And apparently that is not acceptable for tiny babies. That may be a thing later on, but I assure you, I went to do it, and my wife was like, what are you doing? I was like, gonna feed the baby, because bottle, baby, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I've fed babies before. She's like, no, they don't do it like that anymore. When did baby feeding change? I'm pretty sure since we've had babies and we've had bottles, this is how we feed babies. Apparently there's a new thing, and that brings me to my next point. It's called side feeding or side face feeding. I don't know. Google is your friend here, guys. But I can tell you that it was a little odd at first. So you sit them down in your lap and you have a pillow there. Okay? Put the baby in kind of like a little L shape. Head towards your knees, butt against your chest, and legs just kind of curved around the side. Put your hand on their back, and then you hold the bottle right here. And I'm like, okay. Should I do anything? And they're, oh, make sure their chin is up. Don't let them tuck their chin or they could choke. And make sure you put their hand on their back, but not under the base of their skull, so that way they can lean back. And also, don't tilt the bottle up. Hold the bottle this way. I'm not going to lie, guys. The first time she was trying to walk me through it, I was like, I'm so frustrated. I'm almost over this, and I have not even fed the baby yet. This just seems weird. But I gave it a chance. And honestly, yeah, it's still a little weird to me, if I'm just being honest. But it's still time that I get to spend with my kid, and I get to feed them and really just enjoy that moment and that time. So now it is our nightly ritual that our time comes around. Dad has got the bottle heated up, got the pillow ready, got a blanket to make sure that she stays warm through the process. And honestly, guys, it is super rewarding. It's wonderful because I've had times where she literally just falls asleep mid-feed, and you're like, hey, psst, hey. You grab their little arm, and they're just like they're just out cold. And you're like, okay. Well, normally, you rub their feet, you rub the back of their head, you pat their back a little bit, you give them a little tickle, and they, oh, right. And they start feeding again. Well, I was like, she's comfortable. I'm just going to let her sleep. So my wife comes back in the room like 20 minutes later, and she's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm just letting her sleep. She's like, she has to finish the bottle. I was like, okay, I get it. But also, here's my thought, okay? So somebody is like, hey, you can have the greatest Oreo pie that you've ever had and peanut butter pie. Go ahead. Boom. Knock yourself out. And midway through, I'm like, man, I'm so full. I could just use a nap. I mean, yeah, I want the rest of the pies that you've offered me, but also I might just need a power nap. And my wife was like, I'm way too tired for this. Please just wake her up and feed her. And so I did. But it's kind of funny to just see what they do. They make all kinds of faces, all kinds of noises. And then that brings us to the scary topic. Babies feeding and they choke. Let me assure you, on the many things that are on my terrifying to experience list, I did not know this one was right up there between waking up next to an alligator in my bed and also having a shark just randomly learn how to walk on land and stalk me. It's right up there with those. Because I'm sitting there holding it and she's just feeding away. I'm just watching TV every now and again, looking at her. Yeah, all right. And then all of a sudden, as I'm watching, I think I was watching a Korean drama, I'm watching it, and I hear this, and I was like, oh my God, I am the worst parent ever. I was not paying attention. I could have avoided this. Bottle, just abandoned the bottle. It was like a live hand grenade of milk. I just, done. Baby up, okay? 2 ways to do this, gentlemen. Please use the internet to make sure that you are not just taking advice from me, but 2 ways that I know how to do this. Number 1, baby. Over the shoulder, super army style, giving that baby some pats. Let it out. Okay. Also, though, babies, tiny, don't have great head control, so maybe not with the throwing, but quickly get them up there. My personal favorite, because I can do it fastest based on the way that I'm feeding them. So, I'm feeding. I just basically sit her straight up, kind of, you got to support their head, so hand under their neck here, and I'm patting, with both hands. I'm like, okay, what's going on? Breathe, air. And she's just like, black. And then just there goes the milk. And I'm like, whatever. Okay. Yes, everything I'm wearing is going in the wash, but that's okay. Are you okay? And she's just like, a little milk drunk. Also, though, I am still hungry. And just gave her a minute, let her catch her breath, and literally she started to get the little quiver of the bottom lip and just and I was like, okay, lay down, side face, we've cleaned up. Someone throw me that hand grenade back. Okay, and then boom, back to feeding. But pay attention, because it'll happen when you're least expecting it. It shouldn't be funny, but now, unfortunately, that it's happened once or twice, I just know exactly what to do, and it's not as terrifying. But I assure you, the first time that it happens, you may cry. So, anyways, that was episode 13. And honestly,